I'd asked someone if I should get a wetsuit. The answer is yes. Never worn bike shorts. There's a lot of unknowns. Like, I'm really
feel ready. I feel pretty good.
But yeah, it's cold. I got outside. I didn't want to walk, and she's got the key, and I'm locked out. So I figured I'm kind of by the pool area here, and just chilling for a bit. But I figure I'd take this opportunity to put a little bit of video together and explain the experience leading up to Barrelman. So there's a few videos that'll tell the story. I wish I took more, but I guess that's what this is all about. But there's a few that I took along the way that will show very well of how nervous and unsure I was of everything to how confident I got over the course of 41 days leading up to that 70.3. It's about 6:45 in the morning, and yesterday I signed up for a half marathon. No, not half marathon, half Ironman. The event's in 41 days. I'm starting to realize sort of what I've done. And it's actually scaring me pretty good. It's actually not something I'm sure that I can even do. Of all the things that I've never done, one of them has been ride a road bike. I'm taking this guy out for a while this morning, followed by a quick run. I've never really done an open water swim. I'd asked someone if I should get a wetsuit. The answer is yes. Never worn bike shorts. There's a lot of unknowns. Like, there's a good possibility that I either don't finish or I get hurt somehow, whether it's in the race or training or something, because I got a real bike, which is exciting. Right there. Clipping in and everything. I've never done any of this before, so and I got some bike shorts on, which feels like I'm wearing a diaper right now. First time on the bike, forgot I was clipped in. Fell off the bike when I came to a stop, not once but twice. Back in this thing again, and it's not quite as claustrophobic as the first time I had it on, but it's pretty darn tight, especially around the neck and the back and the legs and arms. Okay, off to go swim another 2 kilometers, see if I can get more comfortable. And that wetsuit, if you know anything about wetsuits just by seeing it, that's a scuba suit. That is not a swimming wetsuit. And someone in my gym actually gave that to me to train in. And again, at the time, I didn't know the difference. It kept me warm, which was nice. And what actually happened was it was so hard to swim in. Like, the restriction and the movement of my arms and like how tight it was around my neck, it was super uncomfortable, and it made the swim on the day of actually feel really easy. So I think the third ride I did, I got up to 50 kilometers, and I think that was probably like twice as far as I'd ever ridden a bike before, and that was tough. And then the next day, I think it was August 12th. I'll show the photo here, right here. I just decided I gotta see if I can do this distance. Like, right now, I like, motivation's high. I'm just gonna go out long on the bike, and actually I think I only planned to do 70, and then I got to 70 and I said, let's push the turnaround point from 35 to 40. And then when I got to 40, okay, we're almost there. Let's go 45. And I got into, I wouldn't say it's a dark place. Like, it wasn't a dark place, but I wasn't ready for what being on a bike that long was going to do to me. And thank God I found at 45 kilometers a gas station, and I had, I carried my credit card, I think, just in case. I just ravaged. So you'll notice in this photo, there's a gap where there's no heart rate for a while. And that's because I went to the gas station and I bought a slushie, a protein bar, a pack of Skittles, a Freezy, and something else. I can't remember. Something like I was dying of thirst and just calories too. I just needed. My body was saying, I need sugar right now, and that actually it worked well enough. It got me motivated enough to get me back. And actually, the pace wasn't too bad for going that long. I think the pace was 27 kilometers an hour. First time riding anywhere near that long, and so. It at least gave me enough confidence that I could do it. I could get through it. Now, could I run after it? I don't know. I was feeling pretty weird after that one. I was destroyed. Knees were sore. Body was achy. Yeah. And then I got sent this cycling jersey. Chris, the owner and CEO of Two Brain Business, the company that I do business mentoring and consulting with for other gyms, he's super into cycling, and he sent me this cycling jersey, which honestly it made me feel legit. Like it made me faster right as soon as I got it, and it helped because I could tuck, if I was bringing gels or anything, and when I started to do some longer workouts, I could tuck them into the back pockets. I was listening to books just to keep myself busy on the rides, and so I could put my iPhone back there rather than in my pocket. And when you're cycling with a phone in your pocket, that just doesn't work very well. But that's what I was doing for a couple of weeks. It's just after 6 in the morning, and been for about half an hour. I've got my plan, my nutrition here, pretty kind of detailed. It's the first time I'm kind of going through with something like that. The plan today is to actually do a pretty big test, so it's going to be a 1.2 kilometer swim into an 80 kilometer bike into an 80-minute run, which should get me somewhere in the area of 12, 13, maybe 14K, probably not. So what I've been doing is just loading up bottle after bottle of Vitargo. I think this is actually really going to help. I'm going to be taking in about 70 grams of carbohydrate per hour, which should help fuel me quite a bit because it's going to be like a good 5-6 hours, so it's going to be a good test here. I'm going to have a coffee and a banana before I take off. Had a little protein shake with a little bit of gainer in it too, just for some extra calories. And right now I kind of overshot on how early I'd have to get up. I want to be done this earlier in the day, but I gotta wait for the sun to come up before I go in the lake. I'm not going in the lake with the sun down. So yeah, a couple more minutes, chill out with a coffee, and then we're gonna get onto it. Done. Big session. Oh man, okay, so this morning, I said what I was gonna do this morning, so I did it. I feel pretty confident actually for this whole thing. So I don't know, like it was not, there was nothing easy about what I did this morning, but I thought it was gonna be worse, if that makes sense. So the swim 1.2 kilometers basically as the sun came up. It was pretty choppy. It was way choppier than any water that I've swam in yet, which was a little difficult. It got me off course a bit. But that was done in 31 and a half minutes, so not a bad pace. The transition there was a little bit long. I swam in the lake, and then I kind of treated it like a transition. I ran in the wetsuit over to my house, stripped the wetsuit off, and then I had everything preloaded. And then I had to drive up on top of the mountain to get to my spot where I like to bike and run. So that was from the time I got out of the water to on the bike, 20 minutes. So not super realistic, but still not bad. The bike was a long bike. It was about 2 hours and 40 minutes maybe. It's just over 80K, and the average pace is 29.6 kilometers, which I'm really, really happy with. If I can hold that on the day of, I'll be super happy. I felt pretty good on that, and actually I think I negative split. The back half was a little bit faster, which was nice. That transition was from the time I got off the bike to starting the run was 4 minutes. Again, it's a little long, but like I focused more on nutrition. I had to get out of my shoes and everything, and I had to change actually to the bike shorts off to what I'm to something else to wear. And then the run was solid. It was 76 minutes, around 13.5K, and I think like a 5:46 pace, 5:48 pace per kilometer. So I signed up for this thing 3 weeks ago, and this is a really good confidence boosting session. I've got 3 weeks to go and then do the real thing, but this wasn't too far off of it, so I'm pretty happy. I actually felt I was excited to do that, just because of how hard I knew it was going to be, but that gave me a ton of confidence that I could actually do it, because we're getting kind of close to some of those distances, and again, I didn't really focus on the time or the pace of anything really. I just kind of went by feel, and I think that's how you have to take this stuff early on. So a few days after that big one, where I put everything together, I decided to do my fastest brick workout of the whole series, and what that looked like. So I'd done a lot of, not over distance, I never went over distance, but I went close to that 90. I went 90 once, and I went 80 I think once. I did a lot of 50 and 60 kilometer rides. Again, just getting time on the bike. There wasn't really any real thought process behind that other than it fit into my schedule nicely. It's hard to fit like 3 and 4 hour rides into a schedule when you're busy with other things. But for this one, this brick workout, I committed to riding harder than I had before, and I was going to run harder than I had before. And so the ride, I just figured I'd do about an hour, and I was kind of knocking on the door at riding around like 30 kilometers an hour for extended periods of time, and this one came in over 33, which I was super happy with. I hadn't seen that number yet, and nice quick transition. Loaded the bike up into the truck and out for the run, and the run was good too. I mean, it was. The heart rate is always going to be higher on the run, but the run pace, it was faster than I'd run before. And again, this gave me a lot of confidence leading up to, and at this point, we're only a couple of weeks out. And then a little bit after that, September 16th, this was the longest run that I did leading up, and I never went over distance with the run at all. And this was just under 17 kilometers. And it gave me a lot of confidence because one, I did negative split again. I kind of went out just comfortable and then started building the pace. And some of those last few kilometers were decently quick. And when I finished, I knew that I could run that pace for another few kilometers. I knew I could do a half marathon at that pace. And that gave me a lot of confidence because, running it at the end of a try, I have no idea if I could do that, but just being able to go out on a day and run a sub-2 half marathon, I hadn't been able to do that before, and that made me feel pretty confident. And then these workouts, these were two of my favorite workouts, actually. So the second time around, again, just building confidence. I didn't do a lot of speed work, just because that's the background that I come from. Like, I can run faster than I need to for these types of races, and even just with all the CrossFit training, I'm still training that explosive stuff. I'm still training paces that you can't keep for a long time. So there wasn't really a huge focus on this at all. So it was the 29th of August, I did a workout. Just went out to the same trail, and I did 6 times 1 kilometer repeats on 90-second rest. And I believe, and this was actually, both of these were right after a CrossFit workout as well. I think with a bunch of wall balls, a bunch of legs. I specifically wanted my legs to be tired going into it. So started off, the first one was around 4:30, and then gradually took them down toward, I think the middle ones were maybe 4:15, 4:10, and then right around 4 minutes for the last one. Again, that's 6 times 1K on 90 seconds rest. And then later on, I believe it was September 19th. It was right close to the race. It was only a few days out. I did that same workout again after a CrossFit workout. And I ran almost identical times, which was super encouraging because I did it this time on 60 seconds rest and not 90. And that's a big deal. And I felt good, and it wasn't any more uncomfortable, and the heart rate was around the same. So I think that was actually one of the last ones. I think I did a 60-kilometer bike maybe 2 days out just to keep moving. But that was basically, those were the last couple of workouts I did. So then now, right up to race day, the night before, so we got to the Airbnb. I was with Darren and Michelle and JP, and Darren and I went out to do a swim, just get in the water beforehand, test out. I hadn't worn that wetsuit before. I hadn't worn a proper wetsuit ever. And I got there first, and he was coming down to meet me, and I was standing out on the dock waiting for him with my wetsuit half on. And as he walked out, we're chatting for a minute, and I realized I have my wetsuit on inside out. And I did. I was like, oh my God, like, I know he's new to this too, but like, this, come on, man, like, you put your clothes on inside out. So I got that fixed, got the wetsuit on proper, and then we went and swam, I don't know, maybe 500 meters or so, and it felt good. I mean, so the swimming that I had done in Lake Ontario along the shore, along kind of a jagged shore line, where you really have to know where you're at. Also pretty choppy. So we were in a canal. We were in the Welland Canal, which they do rowing regattas there. So, and there's like the line to follow. It felt like being in a pool, completely, like, honestly, compared to what I'd done, and so it felt so easy. And I just thought that Darren was going to crush me and everything. Just given his background, and that, like, this was his idea, and I was just kind of tagging along. But I could tell I felt a little bit more comfortable in the water than he did, I think, at that point. Again, just gave me confidence for the whole thing. And so that was it, and then, the next little clip here is a quick video I shot the morning of, and you can see like the guy that signed up and the guy that showed up on race day, completely different confidence levels.
Morning of, we are on the way down to the venue. It's just about 6:30, up at 5. Feel ready. I feel pretty good. Got some good food in me this morning and some great food last night. Spent the night here in Welland at an Airbnb with Darren and JP. JP's done a few Ironman events, so it was actually kind of nice to see if we can get a little brighter in here. It was actually kind of nice to get a little bit of an experienced guy in the room just to help out with because there's a lot of logistics. I've got bags of things that need to be in certain places, and yeah, if any of that goes wrong here, it's not going to be good. So no, it's good, it's helpful. I feel good. Let's hope it goes well. So that's kind of the lead up toward Barrelman. 41 days to a half Ironman distance triathlon.
I'm gonna shoot another video just detailing what the actual race, like how the actual race went and how I felt and what sort of stuff happened, because that's a whole nother story. So that, I don't know if that'll be the next one because it's gonna take some time to put together, but I'll get it out. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this is helpful if you're leading up to your first event, or it gets you thinking out of your comfort zone to try something new, because this was totally new for me, as you can see. Subscribe and follow along on the journey toward the Ironman.